Om Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru-Paramparam Apyayantu Mamangani Vak-pranaschakshushrottram Atho balamindriyani cha sarvani Sarvam Brahma-upanishadam Maham Brahma nirakuryam Mama Brahma nirakarod Anirakaranamastu Anirakaranam me astu Tadatmani nirate Ya upanishatsu dharmaha Te mayi santu Om Shanti 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 Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha Kena pranah prathamah praiti yuktaha Keneshitam vachamimam vadanti Chakshushrotram kapudevo yunakti Shrotrasya shrotram manaso manoyat Vachoha vacham sahu pranasya pranaha Chakshusha chakshurati muchya dhiraha Pretyasmal lokad amrita bhavanti So the question was asked, in the presence of which entity to fulfill that entity's desire, you can say, or being impelled by or forced by the will of whom does the mind land on its objects? The prana is active, the eyes land on their sense objects, ears on their sense objects, like that. So all these jnanendriya and karmendriya are functioning in the presence of which reality? Is there a reality like that or not also is implied in the question, correct? So the answer given is not like a direct descriptive answer, correct? Like if I ask you what is a cow, then you will start saying it is a four-legged animal, it is a mammal, it is having two horns, okay? Or then in Sanskritam we say Gotvam is Sasanadimatvam, like that. There is something called a dewlap, correct? They call it dewlap in English. In fact, the Indian breed of cows have the dewlap. I don't think the European cows have that dewlap. It's not very pronounced. And the hump also is very pronounced in the Indian cows. Anyway, so that dewlap or Sasanadimatvam itself is something unique in the cows. So they even give that as a distinguishing characteristic or a description. In fact, all descriptions, words themselves, how do they operate? Correct? Suppose I want to reveal to you something. So we both are walking, let us say, and we come to a lake. We have a couple of lakes around our Gurukulam also. And we have a lot of lilies and lotus and all that when there is water. That is. So then I want to point out a particular flower. Correct? So how do I do that? Means just by saying flower, there are hundreds of flowers. I cannot point to a particular flower, correct? But flower at least distinguishes it from other things like water and earth and all that. So that is called jati, correct? A word can reveal jati. Jati can be translated as a category or a species, all that, correct? So jati is revealed or can be revealed by the word. So flower itself is a jati. Then I say lotus flower, let us say, correct? Then that lotus also is further subspecies or under flowers. That is also a jati, we can again say, okay? But there are hundreds of lotus also in the pond, in the lake. Then I say white lotus. Now when I say white lotus, again it is a guna, we say. There are lotuses which are pink, which are white, like that different colors are there. So this is a white lotus. So by guna also I can distinguish, correct? That is called Vyavartakam. In Sanskritam we say the Visheshanas are distinguishing features, correct? They are separating a particular entity from all other things. Based on what? Because if I have to reveal to you a particular entity, the basis of distinguishment itself can be on the basis of species. That's what we saw. When we say lotus flower, it is based on the species. When I say white lotus, it is based on a guna or an attribute or quality. That is also useful. Then we can even add other attributes like big. Big white lotus means there are not many big white lotuses. Then I can even add something, that which is fluttering in the wind or what. Maybe only couple of lotuses are. So that is called kriya, correct? The kriya also can be used. Then I can say fragrant. Not all flowers are fragrant. So like this I can add different visheshanas and finally point out to a particular entity, correct? So jati, guna, kriya, and then sambandha also. There is the connection. By connection also we can reveal. So the lotus on which a bee is sitting, let us say, or something is there. Means that is based on connection. Now I am revealing. All lotuses do not have bees. So one lotus is where the bee is sitting means. So by connection also I can reveal to you. So jati, guna, kriya, sambandha. These are the things which can be revealed by words. Is that clear to all of you? But then, so if I have to descriptively reveal something to you, I have to use these things. But the teacher cannot do any of these things to reveal the answer for this particular question, correct? What? Impelled by what? All these indriyas are all acting, or indriyas themselves are indriyas because of which entity's presence. Means the nature of that entity is unlike any of the entities we know in the objective world. So that's why it cannot be directly revealed using descriptions, using words, direct meaning. That doesn't mean it cannot be revealed by words themselves. This is where again this half-baked Vedanta is there, correct? Because Taittiriya Upanishad says, Yato vacho nivartante aprahapya manasa saha, means what? From where words return without attaining or without being able to indicate through their meaning this Brahman, correct? So because Brahman cannot be indicated by any one word. Why? Because if it is the meaning of one word, it will become limited again, correct? Then it is not the meaning of another word it will become. So the beauty is Brahman is not the meaning or cannot be the meaning of any one word. That's why we say all words return. It cannot reveal Brahman. Similarly, mind also. Aprahapya manasa saha. Mind also cannot objectify. Then what? Therefore, why are you studying Vedanta? Okay. It cannot be revealed by words. You cannot go beyond the mind. Means what? I don't know what you do, but you can roll your eyes and all that and try to somewhere inside. You are going beyond your brain and mind and all that. Sit in meditation. You can do all that. In fact, that kind of a misconception is very common. That our Guruji used to say, all that he used to call modern Vedanta. So there is a modern Vedanta category is there, where they use the same Vedic quotation to tell you that don't read or the whatever, it is only a map, it is like Google map. Then you have to still drive the car, correct? Map alone cannot help you reach. Hey, it's not like that also, correct? It's a pramanam means what? It is revealing to you, you are Brahman already, correct? Then there is nothing more to do, really speaking. You have to only cognize that fact. So it's a question of knowing, and there is a pramana which is ready to reveal to you your own reality as you are. All that is required is to appreciate that. So here, how it is revealing? That is the beautiful way it is revealing. In fact, there is no other way to reveal. In fact, the next Vakya in the Upanishad itself will say that. That's the beauty. See, so this Vastu cannot be revealed as the meaning of any one word directly. So what does the teacher do? Is a Shrotrasya Shrotram. Shrotrasya Shrotram. Ear of the ear. Okay, that means what? It is the one which is really using the ear. So in any cognition you have through the ear, this is the one which cognizes that to this Vastu only, whatever is revealed through the ear becomes evident. Okay, is it only through the ear? No. Manaso manaha, vachoha vacham, chakshushas chakshuhu, all that. So it is also ear of the ear, but it is also eye of the eye. It is also prana of the prana, mind of the mind. Like that, any cognition, any activity which is taking place, it is all only due to the presence of this entity. It is all happening. So such an entity, by saying ear of the ear, automatically what is being pointed out, it cannot be something away from you, correct? Because it is not something external now. It has to be Pratyagatma, correct? The word Pratyak is not used here explicitly. In fact, it is used in Kenopanishad, it comes. Something very similar. Correct? Kenopanishad also, there is a beautiful verse. Why I remember that is because during our 3-year course, so we all have to take one class like this, okay? At the end of the course, but Swamiji also will be sitting. All the Swamis, all your own fellow Antevasins, and you have to take class. So one Bhagavad Gita verse, one Upanishad Vakya. And this was the Vakya I taught. So I cannot forget it that easily. So Paranchikhani Vyatrinat Swayambhu Parang Pashyati Nantaratman. Like that. What is our tendency? Our tendency is that I take myself as a subject. Correct? I identify with the mind and the sense organs and all that. And then my natural pravritti, instinctual activity is what? I am always externally focused or externally oriented, correct? That is what is called Paranchi Khani. Khani means here actually Indriyani. Okay? And Paranchi means that which is externalized. So Bhagavan only has created like this. Paranchi Khani Vyatrinat Swayambhu. But by creating you like this, Bhagavan has actually destroyed you. It is the Upanishad is saying. Vyatrinat means basically he has done a Hanana Kriya. So, but Bhagavan, why Bhagavan has created like this means you have to undergo all your experiences. Otherwise, how will you undergo all the karma you have to whatever the karma which is unfolding, it has to fructify, correct? And you should have experience. In fact, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, the entire loka itself, why the loka is like this? It is again based on your karma only. You are the creator of the entire loka also, because Jiva only is constantly creating your own karma. And for you to experience your karma only, all this Vividha Jagat also has to be there. And in that also again, what Bhagavan has done? He has made you externally oriented so that you can go through all these experiences. But in this process, what happens? You do not know yourself. You take yourself for granted. Means that is like almost you have been destroyed. Vitrinat Swayam Bhuhu. But what? Not everybody is only externally focused. As long as you are externally focused, life, death, it keeps on going. It's a vicious cycle, correct? But then Kaschit Dhiraha, some people, Dhiraha here means not like Dhiraha is used for a courageous person also. But here, Dhimantaha, Viveki Purusha, one who has discrimination, one who has discriminated that, hey, whatever I am seeing, it's all my object of my consciousness or object of my cognition. That means I am the subject. But even this body, mind, sense complex also is an object of my cognition, correct? That means I cannot really take the body, mind, sense complex as myself, because whatever I know cannot be I. So if such a thought is there, then what? That dhiraha, what happens to him? Kaschit dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshat. Pratyagatmanam means what? Inner self we have to say here, because otherwise all objects are all external. Even body is really external. Whatever is there, relatively at least we have to say pratyagatmanam. Aikshat means not really, you cannot see that, in the sense that you see it, means you know that you are that conscious entity to whom everything becomes evident, but you cannot objectify that. But for that, what? You have to turn away your attention from all the external, whatever, external objects and all that. Avritta Chakshuhu, it is said. So the Avritta Chakshuhu is really the Chakshushas Chakshuhu and all, it is said here, correct? Same thing. Because instead of thinking you are the sense organs or you are the mind, you are now trying to see yourself separate from your own sense organs and your own mind and your own body. That is the Avritta Chakshu, means you are turning away, but now you know you are Chakshushas Chakshuhu, Shrotrasya Shrotram, Manasaha Manaha. I am the one to whom whatever is happening through my sense organs, it is all becoming evident to me. Whatever is happening in the mind, it is becoming evident to me. That is me. That conscious entity is me, and that can be only pointed out like this, correct? It is a beautiful way of pointing it out. In fact, by saying all this, like Chakshushat Chakshuhu, Shrotrasya Shrotram, so two things are actually pointed out here. One is the cognition aspect, correct? That all the cognition which is happening through different indriyas and mind, etc., is all cognized by this entity alone. In fact, this entity can also cognize whether your indriyas are working or not properly. Correct? So that is the entity to which cognition wise also it is there. But by saying Chakshushas Chakshuhu, the existence aspect also you have to understand. By saying Chakshushas Chakshuhu, what the Upanishad is trying to say is that there is no Chakshu without this entity being there. This is the real one which gives the existence also to your indriyas. It is the one which gives existence to mind. It is the one which gives existence to all the karmendriya, your body, everything. In fact, if we extend it, Even the objects also do not exist away from your consciousness, correct? Because whenever I am cognizing any object, that object consciousness is, we have to say. Whenever there is an object cognition, that object cognition is nothing but, if I see the chair, I say chair cognition is, or chair consciousness is, we can say. When I see a phone, I say phone consciousness is. Like that, it is the invariable in all cognition. The whatever is cognized keeps on varying, whether it is your own body, mind, sense complex or any external objects, they are all only objects in this consciousness. The consciousness is the invariable in each and every cognition, which we do not in fact recognize. Obvious thing we leave out. We are all focused on only the name and form and the object itself which you are cognizing, but you are oblivious to the invariable in each and every cognition. But that is what the teacher is trying to point out here. This entity is the invariable, whether you, whichever indriya you are using, it is the invariable. So both these aspects are pointed out. From this we know that this is a self-revealing and self-existent entity, and it can only be taught like this. That is because it is of the very nature of the subject also. In reality it is not also subject, understand that, because subject-object itself is mutually dependent. But this entity is something which transcends the subject-object duality also. So when we talk about cognition, automatically the object of cognition is there, correct? The known. Then of course cognition means knowledge also is taking place. Then that implies a knower also. Now all these three things are not separate from this consciousness, which is the basis for this triputi we call in Sanskritam, correct? The knower, the known and the knowledge itself. So pramata, prameya and pramanam, or prama itself, prama. So this triputi itself is not separate from this. None of this are separate from this consciousness. That is the one reality. And these things are all varying. So by extension then we understand that whatever comes and goes is all only transient, means they are all mithya. So this is the Satya Vastu like this. So by this one statement, by implication we can understand lot of things. So in this particular Vakya itself, how it is, so Shrotrasya Shrotram, Manaso Manaha, Vachoha Vacham, Sau Pranasya Pranaha. So yet Shrotrasya Shrotram, Sau, again see, another point here is, the gender also the Upanishad freely changes. Shrotrasya Shrotram is neuter gender, but when it comes to prana it becomes Sau Pranasya Pranaha. Chakshushas Chakshuhu. That means this entity, because this is a big problem for other theologies. Okay, God is Father in heaven. Means God is only male. They are very serious about it. Okay, God has a gender, and God is male, Father only. So my Guruji used to ask, if Father is there, then there is no Father without Mother. Father is a relative term, really speaking. Then what happened to the mother? Means they can, he used to joke, he used to say that they have to then say that during the delivery of the world, mother passed away. There is no mother anymore, because Father created the world means. Without mother, Father cannot create, but if mother is not there now, means Father has become a widower, there is no mother anymore. So it's all absurd, correct? That assigning some gender and all that. So here by Upanishad uses all genders while talking about Atma, Brahman and all that. depending on different contexts, only to show that this entity is also free from gender. Free from gender means it is not a new gender or anything. Just to say that it is not female, male means okay, it is some other third gender. In fact, all genders are also this entity, but it is free from all genders also. That is the idea here, correct? So gender also is not an issue. Sau pranasya pranaha chakshushas chakshuhu. So iti atmanam viditva, like that we can add a little bit there, because straight away it then goes to atimuchya dhiraha. Okay, atimuchya means you have become free. Free from what? By knowing the Atma like this, correct? Evam Atmanam viditva. In this manner you know the Atma. Means you have now transcended the idea that I am the body, mind, sense complex, correct? That is the atimuchya here. Otherwise, what was your natural tendency? To take the body, mind, sense complex as I. That is the source of all your suffering problems. As soon as you get up in the morning, you take on the identity, the individuality associated with a particular body, mind, sense complex. That identity was not there in deep sleep, but as soon as you wake up, it is there. Then all the problems of the body becomes your problem. Right? After you get up, you are not even able to get up from the bed. There also back is paining. Means that itself becomes a problem. Getting up from the bed itself is a problem. Then all the other problems associated with your indriyas and mind and all that, everything is piling on you. You take on all those things. But here what? But Atma has got nothing to do with all this body, mind, sense complex. Atimuchya dhiraha. So the word dhira is used here also. Right? In Kenopanishad also, the same word was used. Avritta chakshuhu kaschid dhiraha pratyegatmanam aikshate kaschid dhiraha. Here also the dhira word is used, same word. That all Upanishads are teaching the same thing. Correct? That is what we say as samanvaya. Tattu samanvaya, like that there is a sutra also is there in Brahma Sutra. The main thing is there are different Upanishads in each Veda, because at least you have to do Swashakha Adhyayana in those days, correct? You do Adhyayanam of your own Swashakha. Then at least then you have to study the Upanishad which is part of your own Swashakha alone also, you should gain this knowledge. That's why so many Upanishads are there. But all the Upanishads are teaching the same thing. There is no difference or anything. The teaching methodology and all may be different, but the subject matter is same. We can see that here. Whether it is Kenopanishad, Kenopanishad, Brihadaranyaka. In fact, in Brihadaranyaka, all the other Upanishads, everything put together is there in Brihadaranyaka itself. Everything you can find there. That's why it is Brihad. It is really big. All the prakriyas, all the different ways of teaching is found in that Upanishad. So anyway, here, Atimuchya dhiraha. Then Pretya normally means leaving this world itself. Okay, dying and all that it means. But here, Bhashyakara, you can take it as leaving this body also. Nothing wrong. Because Pretya, small loka, Amritatvam is being talked about here. Okay? So, you can either say after leaving this body they become immortal. Correct? Amritaha. Correct? Means, in fact, while living also you are Amritaha only. Once the identity with the body, mind, sense complex is gone, Atma can never die. Atma is never born, it's never going to die. Ajaha, Avyayaha. So, Ajopi san Avyaya Atma. It is true for you, as true for Bhagavan, it is also true for you. Ajaha api san avyayaha. I am never born, I never change. I am never going to die also. That means. Then whatever is dying is all only body. Body. Even when Yama Dharma comes, there is no jiva there anymore. For a jnani, once you are a jnani, means there is no jiva. Yama also cannot do anything, in fact. That's why. In fact, you are the Atma of Yama also. What can Yama do? Yama cannot do anything. So, tasya pranaha na utkramanti, like this. Brihadaranyaka also it is there. Means this for a jnani. Only if there is some individual with an identity with the body and all that, Sukshma Sharira, then that goes and takes another body and all that. Then Yama can take something. But here there is nothing. Tasya pranaha na utkramanti means it all again resolves back into the Panjabhuta only. The jnani's body, whether it is the Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, all that just resolves back. Nothing is there to go to anywhere. Why it has to be said is because the Shastra itself talks about all these things, correct? In the Purva Bhaka, Shastra only says there is a Deha Vyatirikta Atma. But Shastra also talks about as long as you think you are a Karta Bhokta, there is a Dehantara Sambandhi Atma is there. That means what? Dehantara Sambandhi means what? The same Atma is associated with another body. There is a Atma or an individual entity which is other than the body, all this physical body and mind, etc. But then if once this physical body goes, that entity takes on another body. This Gita also Bhagavan says, correct? Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinhati naroparani. So it is like this body anyway. Initially we all want to live forever. Okay? I want to live for a long life and all that. Initial prayer, Paramarthanandji used to say, when you are young, you are always praying that I want to live for a long time, enjoy and all that. Then after some 60 years and all that, Anayasena Maranam Vina Dainyena Jivanam. The prayer itself is different now. Nobody wants to keep an old creaking body, correct? So you have to give up, and then at least our Shastra says you will take another body. Okay, you are not going to vanish or anything. So first at least Jiva Buddhi has to be there. So at least I don't want to suffer in death and all that, and then fine, then I can take another body like that. The prayers also change. So here Shastra only is saying all these things, correct? That you can go to Swarga, you collect enough punya, you are going to have a Deva Sharira and all that. So you are going to take up another Sharira. But then if you are a Mumukshu or a Viveki Purusha, even all that is not what you really want. You have a certain Vairagya because you understand what is your fundamental problem, and that's not going to be solved by even becoming a Deva. So for such a person, then Shastra only has to give the release from all these things, correct? That's why it is said that there is no more birth, etc. You are not going to be, there is no entity to be really reborn or anything. That entity itself is gone. That entity is mithya really. So that's what Pretya small loka amrita bhavanti means. You are already amrita only, now you have recognized that, then you remain as amrita. Or you can say again Pretya small loka means lokyate iti lokaha. Whatever you experience itself is the loka. Means here Pretya small loka can be even again taken as that you are now free. Once you have known the Atma like this, you are free from the identification with the body mind sense complex. That itself is like dying only, correct? It is you are dying to the notion that I am confined to a particular body mind sense complex. Even then you are amritaha only. So basically vimuktaha san, then vimuchyate. Vimuktascha vimuchyate, like that there is a in Kenopanishad itself. So normally we quote this even when some sannyasi passes away and all that. We say vimuktascha vimuchyate. Means being vimuktaha already is free. Now he is with the videha mukti means it is even more free. There is no more physical body also anyway. So like this the phala, jnana phalam also is given in the same. That's why I said this one answer, this one vakya itself is complete Vedanta is there here. That we can understand. By implication, you can understand the entire teaching, and it can be only taught this way. Shrotrasya shrotram. Why? In fact, I already explained to you a little bit, but Upanishad itself tells me, because there is no other way of teaching this. And I was also taught like this only by my guru, and all the guru is saying now, going to say, he'll say that. So from this again, the guru shishya parampara and all is very important. This is a subtle subject matter, and it has to be taught in a proper way. Otherwise, there are so many misconceptions going on, correct? Many people also claim that Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam means Dakshinamurti taught everything through Maunam. In fact, if you want to become very famous and all that, just go sit under some tree and don't talk. Then you will become a Mauni Baba. And then they will build an ashram around you, all that. You don't have to do anything. Every day come, sit in one place, don't talk to anybody. Then you will become famous world over. And silence is not really a teaching, understand that. Because if you are silent, anybody can interpret anything. If I am sitting silent, you come and ask me a question. I don't dare say anything, I keep sitting. Then you can also say, this guy doesn't know anything, he is an idiot, and go away. That is one interpretation. Some other person, he has some knowledge already. Then based on that knowledge, he can interpret something out of your silence, correct? But even to interpret the silence, you should already know something. Then where are you going to get that knowledge? That knowledge you have not got from silence, correct? So silence and all, this Mauna Vyakhya, our Pujya Swamiji used to give a nice meaning. Why we say that is, like I already told you, Brahman is not the direct meaning of any one word, correct? It cannot be revealed through the Vak. Therefore, but still you have to reveal that. It has to be taught. That's how the Guru Shishya Parampara is there. So how do you teach means it has to be taught by implication alone. That's what we call Lakshana. It's not the direct meaning of any one word, but we teach through implication or Lakshana it is called. Lakshanaya. Only it can be taught. Now that is what is that Mauna Vyakhya. So the Lakshana Vritti only is meant by the Mauna Vyakhya. Like that, there is a Swamiji used to give a nice interpretation. So the silence thing also is a problem really. Okay, silence and all can be interpreted by anybody according to your own ability. Only will interpret the silence, correct? From there cannot be any proper teaching. Understand that? So this also is, this kind of some notions are all going around. So Shastra has to be taught properly. There is a teaching methodology. But the subject matter which is being taught is subtle. Now that's what the Upanishad is saying. Now what? Na tatra chakshur gacchati. Yeah. Na tatra chakshur gacchati. Na tatra vag. Na tatra chakshur gacchati na vag gacchati. No mano na vidmaha. Na vijanimo yathaitad anushishyat. Okay, so na tatra chakshur gacchati. na vaggacchati. So in this Upanishad also, so why you have taught it as Shrotrasya Shrotram, Manaso Manaha and all that? Because this entity cannot be objectified by your eyes, but it is the one which is actually objectifying your eyes, you can say, in the sense that whatever is happening in your eyes also is only becoming evident to this entity, but this entity itself cannot be objectified by your eyes. The eyes cannot see this. But the eyes are eyes because of which entity? That entity is this. So, na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati. Vag means, vag indriyam means basically words only, correct? This we already discussed. Words can only indicate either jati, guna, kriya or sambandha. Now this entity, there is only one entity, correct? Ekameva dvitiyam means only one is there, means what to talk about categorization and all that. There is nothing to categorize. There is only one entity. So there is no jati or anything. Then nirgunam, there is no guna. There are no gunas. It is nirguna vastu.
Gacchatina pedite. Gacchatina pedite.
Gacchati means here gamayati, cognize. You cannot, na tatra chakshur gacchati means the eyes cannot objectify or cognize it. Because gam dhatu also is like, the eyes cannot get it means what? The eyes cannot grasp it, or grasp also has the meaning of cognizing, correct? It cannot objectify and it cannot cognize. That is the meaning of gacchati here. So, the words themselves cannot reveal because it doesn't have a jati, there are no gunas, there is no kriya also, nishkriyam brahma and asangam also. There is no connection. What is the connection between the snake and the rope? You can see the snake, but in reality there is no connection, correct? Only the one who is seeing the snake can talk about the rope as the adhisthana and all that. If you ask the rope will say, I don't know anything. I am not the adhisthana for anything, in fact. You are seeing something. So, there is no sangha or anything else. So, none of this is there. But it is you actually, correct? This vastu is not separate from you. By showing shrotrasya shrotra manaso manaha and all that, or even using words like chaitanyam, consciousness. See, consciousness as a word also is very unique. All other things, if I tell you a word, something will come in your mind, correct? If I say apple, this apple object is appearing in your mind, correct? It is, if you know the meaning of the word at least, correct? So I say phone means something appears. But if I say consciousness, you are not able to, nothing will come. Why? Because it's not an object of it's not an object, it cannot be objectified, but it is you in fact. That's why consciousness is nothing but another word for you only. It is myself. It is Atma. In fact, the word Atma also is not required. That's what Bhashyakara says. Because then somebody can say, you are referring to this as Atma. So it has become the meaning of the word Atma means, even that word and all is used only for teaching purpose. You don't have to refer to yourself as Atma or anything. Whether you refer or not, you know you are there. Correct? To know yourself, you don't have to refer to yourself with any word. So, that Atma word also is not required really. So no words can reveal this. So na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati. So eyes also cannot objectify. It cannot be seen. Even if you turn your eyes inside and all that, you cannot see. Okay, forget. You don't have to roll your eyes in and try to see something inside. Then what about the mind? No mano na vidmaha. Mind also cannot objectify this. Mind itself is objectified by this. Whatever is happening in the mind is becoming evident to which consciousness? We are talking about that. So that's why yato vacho nivartante apraapya manasa saha. Anandam Brahmano Vidwan, but immediately it says you can still know that because it is yourself. Anandam Brahmano Vidwan Nabhiveti Kadachaniti. So, this Brahman or Atma, it cannot be objectified by anything. But the more important thing is it need not be objectified. Understand that. That is the important thing. It cannot be objectified, it need not be objectified. All that is required is give up all the wrong notions you have about yourself. You are a self-revealing, self-existent entity. Therefore, you don't have to know yourself, you don't have to objectify yourself. But the whole problem is, all our lives we have known things by objectifying only, correct? So there is a natural tendency towards that. Even when we teach like this also, you are still, when we use words, you are still trying to objectify yourself using those words and all that, but that's not the idea. Those words are there only to remove your wrong notions about yourself. It is not to objectify and know. Is that clear? So when we say Satyam, the word only is revealing to you this Brahman is existent. But simultaneously it also dismisses the notion that you are not existent in space-time, like I told you. Because otherwise normally we think I am an existent entity in space-time, means then I am subjected to space-time, I am a mortal, everything by implication will come into the picture. But Satyam is used along with Anantam. It is limitless existence. Means it's not limited by space-time. But it is an existing entity. Otherwise Buddhists will come and say Shunya. So we have to say Asti. It is there, it is. Correct. Then is it Jada then? Asti means we know there are sentient things, there are insentient things, means Jnanam. As soon as I say Jnanam, then is it the mind? Because mind is the one we think that everything is known by the mind. But mind itself is undergoing changes. There are manovritti only is happening. The state of mind also keeps changing. In the morning you are cheerful, by evening you are sleepy, you are irritable and all that. Okay? So my state of mind is changing all the time. But we think mind is the one which is aware, conscious and all that. So what about this then? This is also Jnanam. But this Jnanam is Jnapti Swarupa, we are saying. Mind undergoes change, there is an activity and all that we can call it as Jnana Kriya. But when we talk about this Atma as Jnanam, it doesn't refer to a Jnana Kriya. It is its very nature. It is always shining. And this Chaitanyam never stops also. It is not. That's why it is said in the Brihadanyaka, it is very clearly said. Correct? What is said? Drashtuhu drishtahe viparilopo na vidyate avinashitvat. So the sight of this seer never stops. It never ceases. Why? Because it is indestructible. It's very nature. It can never go away. It's an indestructible. By very nature it is like that. It's conscious. But it is not conscious in the way you think it is. It's not something which is changing, or it's not a conscious activity or anything. It is consciousness. Its very nature is being conscious. And then it is also Ananda also. It is also Ananda. Because the only Purushartha which everybody wants is to be happy. But happiness you cannot find anywhere. It is not a substance, correct? If it is a substance, I can go to market and get 1 kg daily. But it is not something you can buy like that. Nor it is an attribute of any one thing. You can think that my happiness is that I get some Mercedes car. Okay, you got one Mercedes car, first day you are happy. But the same car your neighbor is seeing and he gets envy only, he is jealous. So for you it has an attribute of happiness maybe, but the other person does not see that attribute, he has something else. And even for you, what happens after 100 days, or even the first crack or something happens there, correct? Scratch means there is a problem again. And Mercedes scratch, if you go for painting and all that also, it's not very cheap. Then you keep it okay. We'll see sometime later when something bigger happens, we'll paint everything together. But even then it is a problem, then whatever you thought is going to give you happiness, maintaining that, everything becomes a problem. So it's not any quality, or it's neither a substance nor a quality. Then where is this happiness coming from?
Mental vritti, right?
Correct. That's what. So if you say it is not a substance or a quality and all that, essentially you have now negated the entire world. Correct. Then only one more thing is there in the world. What is that? Yourself. Correct. If you have negated all the objects, if happiness is not there in any object as a substance or an attribute or anything, it is only yourself. So you have to be the source of the happiness. But even that, if you are the source of happiness, why it is not always there means that is where the covering is there, correct? That mind itself is there. But when the mind has a particular vritti, when the mind, the individual who is manifest in the body-mind sense complex, whenever the individual does not look upon oneself as a wanting person, correct? Then this, your Atma Ananda only is manifest in the Manovritti also. So the Manovritti, see, whenever you are happy, you are not thinking about yourself in any in the way like you are limited or you are wanting and all that, correct? You are not thinking about your own troubles and issues, etc. We can suspend that, correct? That is the beauty again. Even when all the problems are there, if I tell you a joke, you are able to laugh. That means you can suspend and enjoy. But that suspension is not permanent. That is dependent on the manovritti. That suspension itself is a manovritti. So, but that in the manovritti, whatever ananda is manifest is not, it is your own ananda only. It is the Atma Ananda. That's what we have to understand. The word Ananda also, our normal understanding is Ananda is a state of mind. But what the Upanishad is trying to point out is it is your very Swarupa. It is not a state of mind. It is not just an experience. Experience means it will go away, correct? State of mind will go away. Manovritti is also momentary. But what is manifesting in that manovritti is your very nature, and if it is your very nature, it cannot go away anywhere. You are the Ananda Swarupa, you are Purnaha, you are already whatever you are seeking. That is the whole teaching here. So all that has to be pointed out. So how do we point it out? Because na tatra chakshur gacchati na vag gacchati no mano na vidmaha. Then the teacher says, I don't know how to teach other than this way we have had, okay? Yataitad anushishya means what? Anushishya means how do I then communicate this to you? You have asked me a question. Na vijanimaha. So I do not know how I will teach this other than this way. This is the only way it can be taught. Correct? Like saying Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Manaha Vachoha Vacham Sahu Pranasya Pranaha चक्षुषश्चक्षुरतिमुच्य धीराः प्रेत्यस्माल्लोकादमृता भवन्ति. This is the only way it can be taught, because I don't know, and this is how my guru also taught me. Correct? That is there in the next line. We'll see that. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om